Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today, courtesy of our friends across the pond at boxing247.com, who are providing me with an awful lot of insight into the world of boxing around the world. Let's start off today, though, with a story out of Liverpool, where we see that Jazza Dickens is going to go toe-to-toe against Anthony Gago. That'll take place at the M&S Bank Arena, as I said, in Liverpool on the 22nd of April of this year. A former European champion stands in Jazza Dickens' way as he sets out on the road to a second shot at the world featherweight title. Dickens faces Andoni Gago over 10 rounds at Pro Bellum Liverpool at the M&S Bank Arena on April 22nd, as I said, on a huge night of World Championship boxing in the city. The 33-year-old will be fighting in his hometown for the first time in almost 3 years and fully intends on making the most of being back on his old stomping ground. Dickens, who now trains under Peter Taylor in Dublin, returns to action after losing last summer's IBF world title with Kid Galahad, and knows facing Gago is a tough way to start off on the comeback trail. He said, "I am back in front of my home fans for the first time in almost 3 years, and I am so determined to make this moment count." Well, let's see, and I'm sure British fans will be backing him 100%. Moving along, let's have a quick look here. Yes, I personally ranted about this a while back, but on the undercard of the upcoming FuryWhite fight, of which there are no women, and I'm upset about that, to take place at Wembley Stadium in Wembley, London, England, on the 23rd of April. Isaac Lowe on the undercard will take on Nick Ball for the vacant WBC silver featherweight title. And this massive event at Wembley, as we all know, not 90,000, but 94,000 people will be in attendance as Fury defends his WBC heavyweight title against Dillian Whyte. The undercard has been announced, as I said, and Lowe, who's 21, 1-3 with 6 knockouts, returns to action following his clash with Luis Lopez in December. And he now turns his attention to undefeated Ball, who's 14-0 with 7 knockouts, who was last in action in October, earning a first-round stoppage win over Piotr Gudel. So, although that looks to be a good fight, and I'm sure it will be a good fight, again, if you're remiss without saying, it's a shame there's no women on that undercard. Let's move over to New York City. Galal Yafia, former Team GB member, if I'm not mistaken, is going up against Miguel Cartagena. Galal Yafia will make his American debut in the pro ranks as he defends his WBC International Flyweight title against Miguel Cartagena on the undercard of the historic clash between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, taking place at Madison Square Garden in New York City, live on DAZN. Yafia, who's 1-0 with 1 knockout, made his hotly anticipated pro debut in February at the O2 in London and showed why there was such a scramble to sign the 2020 gold medalist by stopping Carlos Bautista inside 5 rounds to land the crown he puts on the line in the Big Apple. The 29-year-old is the youngest of 3 talented Yafia brothers from Birmingham, England, and follows former world ruler Cal in stepping through the ropes stateside, but could face a hostile crowd when doing so against Cartagena, who's 17-6-1 with 8 knockouts, the Puerto Rican being from Philadelphia, who will be hoping that Puerto Rican fans there will roar on Serrano in the main event, will back him to derail Yafia's journey early. I'm hugely excited for my second professional fight on the historic Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano undisputed lightweight world title show at the world-famous Madison Square Garden in New York on April 30th, said Yafia. Big thanks to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom for getting me out so soon after my debut win in London earlier this year. Believe you me, we are all looking forward to that date, and it's going to be a great fight indeed. Not only his, but the main event, which will be, as they just said, Katie Taylor going toe-to-toe against Amanda Serrano. Fantastic card. All right, here we go. The Luis, this relates to the WCBS Lightweight Tournament that has now been announced is going to take place in Mexico beginning in June. So we see that Luis Torres is now going to go toe-to-toe against Irving Castillo. It's taking place in Sonora, Mexico on the 2nd of June, and is the first part of this tournament that I believe ends in December. Let's have a quick read here and see what it says. WCBS four-man lightweight tournament favorite and hometown hero, Luis Coriano Torres, who's 15-0 with 10 knockouts, is preparing for a very tough fight with Irving Castillo, 12-2 with 8 knockouts, in the June 2nd championship final for the vacant World Boxing Council Latino Lightweight Championship. The 10-round main event championship final of the inaugural WCBS four-man lightweight tournament presented by Roy Jones Jr. Boxing Promotions will headline the June 2nd installment of the RJJ Boxing on UFC Fight Pass. Torres knocked out Rodolfo Flores 14-6 with 6 knockouts of his own in round 4 this past February at the same venue after dropping him in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. It was a tough fight versus Flores, the 20-year-old Torres said. I knew I had to knock him out, so I just focused on the knockout and put techniques aside. I wanted to give my fans a knockout, and I got it. Torres versus Castillo will be contested in a 10-round match, and if needed, an overtime round will be held to declare a winner in the event of a draw upon the conclusion of the scheduled distance. The tournament is sanctioned by the WBC, and the winner will become the new WBC Latino Lightweight Champion, as stated, as well as receive a world rating from the WBC. All right, on to the super big news of the day, coming out of Florida, where we see a lot of unique boxing action, I must say. This one is entitled Creator Clash. Let me give you some details from 2 different sources. First, from our friends at Boxing 247. They say, on May 14th, 2022, Tampa, Florida, will witness one of the most highly anticipated influencer sporting events ever put together, as Creator Clash, a charity boxing event organized by world-famous YouTuber iDubbbz, that's Ian Carter, will take place. The entire 9-bout card will be sanctioned by the Florida State Athletic Commission, with all net profits going to charity. This is not just a gimmick. These are real fights, and the net profits will go to charity as well, said event organizer and fighter iDubbbz. We are going to bring a lot of action, a lot of passion, and all fighters are training extremely hard to put on world-class entertainment that does the sport of boxing justice. First of all, I want to applaud any and all of the people who are stepping into the ring, as it takes valor and courage to get into the squared circle, especially if you haven't done for years, said Mike Leonardi, Creator Clash co-founder. All of the fighters are training hard, and this is going to be a memorable night of action. This will provide excitement for all those looking to watch boxing. With the Florida State Athletic Commission sanctioning all bouts, the Creator Clash event will follow strict guidelines for each fight. Boxing is a dangerous sport at any level, and anyone who steps into the ring puts their life on the line. Let's flip over to a press release issued by the organizers, where we get into a little bit more detail, because I certainly was curious about iDubbbz and this particular bout. So let me give you a bit more detail. This being Female Friday, I will also end up with a bit of information on, as opposed to Bob Arum, as a female who will be fighting on this night. Creator Clash, in collaboration with Real Good Touring, is bringing your favorite YouTube creators across gaming, animation, tech, dancing, finance, cuisine, comedy, and more together in one place for the must-see boxing event of the year. Unlike previous creator-focused boxing events, this experience will include up to 11 different matchups from creators who have dedicated months of training and discipline to the sport of boxing. Confirmed fighters include Alex Ernst, Aaron Hansen, that's Game Crumps, AB, who's H3 podcast producer. Dad, that's all in capitals, DAD. Dr. Mike, Graham Stephen, Harley, that's Epic Mealtime, Hundar, Muscle Party, and iDubbbz, who I mentioned earlier, who also serves as the creative producer of the event, as well as I Did a Thing, Just a Minx, Matt Watson, Michael Reeves, Odd, the heck does that say? Odd Shout? Odd Sold? Sorry, not familiar with that one. Ryan McGee, Super Mega, and as I said earlier, Yodeling Haley. Now, if you happen to click on Yodeling Haley's link, when you find her, you'll find out she's quite absolutely famous on TikTok. And although I went through several of her many episodes on TikTok, I couldn't find any of her actually putting on a pair of mitts and entering the ring. So it'll be interesting to see how she fares on this particular evening and who she'll be fighting against. Anyway, more fighters will be announced in the coming weeks. In total, check this out, the creators set to don boxing gloves for the event have altogether over 22 billion lifetime views and over 131 million followers. So this is going to be interesting, and I say this interesting not only from the perspective of introducing fans across the world to the sport of boxing, and I assume, but from what I've just read, it will be done properly, but also raise an awful lot of money for the charity. And I don't know what charity it is that they will be promoting, but let's have a quick read. They have a very funny poster, by the way, for this. And if you do a quick little Google search on Creator Clash Florida, you'll probably find it. I might be able to clip it and put it into our blog on the Talkin Fight site. Check later. Let's have a quick read here. Creator Clash is a boxing event featuring the most unlikely group of creators going toe-to-toe for charity, with all net profits from the event going to the American Heart Association, as well as other charities to be announced in the coming week. Well, good for them. These creators want to show respect to boxing while putting on an entertaining show that reflects their personalities, said iDubbbz. It was really important to us that the creators took this experience seriously, and let me tell you, they absolutely have. They have been training for months, and we can't wait to show you what they can bring to the table. Influencer boxing has previously been very money-driven, and our goal is to bring attention back to the sport while delivering fun and interesting personalities for an all-around great show for some great causes. They conclude, Creator Clash is a boxing event featuring the most unlikely, featuring the most unlikely group of creators going toe-to-toe for charity, with all net proceeds from the event going to the American Heart Association, the charities announced in a few coming weeks, blah, blah. The fighters chosen to show up in the ring have a wide range of skills and will rise to the occasion for the love of the sport and the fans, having trained with a professional boxing coach for over 6 months. The event will take place in Tampa, Florida on May 14, 2022, and will also stream live on Moment House. Tickets, by the way, and to learn more, they're seeking you visit www.thecreatorclash.com. Well, I'm going to beat you to it and send a note to them right away and let them know that we're interested in this event because we think it'll bring a few million people from around the world into the sport of boxing. It sounds like they're doing it right. Sounds like they're serious, and I like the fact they're promoting it not just for themselves, but for the sake of the American Heart Association and other worthy charities. Good for them. Congratulations, and I'll let you know what I find out. Thanks for joining me here on Talkin Fight. Appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you later on this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, when I join the boys on Knuckle Up, and then later on this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the Friday night panel featuring Tim Witherspoon. I think James Hagler is going to join us, and maybe we'll engage in a bit of a conversation about this type of boxing event. Call it celebrity boxing. I'm not sure what we can call it, but it sounds like they're taking it quite serious, and regardless of who steps into the ring, those fighters are taking it seriously as well. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.